We have Professor James McCanney waiting for us, patiently in agreement. Before we get to Jim, a couple of quick news items. Before it's news, there is a interview with a gentleman who's very knowledgeable of Middle East matters, giving documentation that our President Hussein Obama, his brother, is a high-level operative in a terrorist organization, and giving details of that. Plus also at Steve Quayle's website and InfoWars and RevolutionRadio.org, a story about Oath Keepers going operational, setting up what amounts to 12-man A-teams around the country to help preserve and protect property and lives. An interesting story. We do have patiently waiting to agree. My friend Professor James McCanney. Professor McCanney is a credentialed astrophysicist, a mathematician who cracked a several thousand-year-old mathematical puzzle a couple of years ago. Congratulations, Jim. And radio talk show host, author, and a man that we rely on for a lot of excellent information. Good morning, Jim.
John, good morning. How are you?
Real good, sir. I went to check the time of the official U.S. government time clock this morning, and it was shut down because the government was shut down. I shut down this website, which is an automated system that doesn't require any human beings to attend to. I was a bit shocked, Jim, and I guess you're not surprised, though, are you?
Yeah, the same thing happened with the NASA websites, and so these are automated, they're already funded, they're already paid for, and it makes you realize that we literally do not have any more federal government.
Yes.
Simply, it's gone. It's gone. And,
well, that's the intent.
This made me realize that this would be the time. I think they're advancing the time in which they want to pull the power outage and the cyber attack and all the other goofy stuff that would bring in basically a new banking system, new world order, and basically martial law, just whatever changes they care to make, without Congress, without anybody's approval, and with middle manager Obama at the helm.
Well, knocking out the power grid has been in the offing for quite a while. The TV miniseries America, spelled with a K, back in the mid-1980s. We didn't know at the time because very few of us had access to the book that the miniseries was based on. But that takeover of the United States by Russia, the beginning point of that was an EMP attack. So they've been warning us for basically 30 years, haven't they?
Yeah. So, as far as I'm concerned, I'm the federal government. I actually put a posting on my page. I said, in lieu of the fact that we don't have a federal government anymore, as far as I'm concerned, I'm the federal government, and if you want to follow what I tell you to do, that's your prerogative, because you don't have a federal government right now.
Well, Jim, when the show's over, Jim, I want to apply for $1 million grant from the federal government that you're running.
Oh, geez, you have it.
All right. Way to go.
All we have to do is write on a piece of paper the amount of money, and it's there. That's what the government does.
Absolutely.
But then somebody has to pay it back according to our current system.
Well, grants don't need to be, loans need to be paid back, but grants don't need to be. So I'll be applying for a grant. Anyway, Jim, the news, of course, for quite a while, a number of months, there have been Comet Ison. There's been a lot of disinformation put out there, speculation fueled by NASA. Give us an update on Comet Ison, if you would, please, sir.
And by the way, this is the update. I'll be doing a complete review tomorrow night on my show. But here's what's going on. Comet Ison approached and has now passed Mars. Mars went comet.
What?
And I observed it. I had other people observe it. And it might be one of the reasons that the government shut down, because the coma around Mars is now extremely visible. This is an event we had not seen in thousands of years. I'm amazed at this. at the effect that took place. A number of days ago, actually on the 24th, the comet Ison went green. One of my predictions, where it basically turned into a neon light bulb. And the elements that luminesce in green are carbon monoxide and arsenic and some of the other elements that are common in comet tails. But, of course, NASA had their little, it's ultraviolet light from the sun. Well, what's so special about ultraviolet light near Mars? Why don't comets do this in other places?
Exactly.
All the time. You know, their explanations are so stupid that the first level thinking at worst. But at any rate, 2 days ago on the 30th, Comet Ison developed the sunward spike that I predicted. I said, yeah, it's going to start connecting, but it did. It was a visible, extremely visible sunward spike within the days of passing Mars. Right now, Mars is in the tail of Comet Ison, and Mars itself has gone comet. It has no direct path involving Earth at all. And so I just want to clarify that. But it's an extremely interesting comet, and I almost think, this is so important to hide this information from the public. It's so important to the so-called world leaders that I even have considered that the entire shutdown of the federal government is to hide the information regarding Comet Ison. Well, that's in the fact that the timing is very strange. October 1st was the first day that Comet Ison really started to interact with Mars. And like I say, this is an event we have not seen in 3,500 years or more as Earthlings. And the fact that a comet would interact with a planet, and then right now the planet itself is going comet. I've received emails from other people who have observed this too. My personal, I've been up myself many nights looking at this. And my viewing conditions this morning were absolutely beyond crystal clear. And I watched this going on for, way more than an hour with extremely good equipment. What's interesting is all of the NASA equipment is offline, and that data is being taken. NASA is quiet as a church mouse. All of their websites are offline, and I suspect that the majority of scientists are being barred from seeing this. They're out on the street, and like many people, when they're off the job, so to speak, when the government ain't paying them, they're not there. They cannot go into their facilities. They cannot do their job. They can't be a scientist and say, I'm so interested in my science that even if you don't pay me, I'll go do it. No, their door is shut. They're locked out. Yeah, absolutely. So the scientists themselves cannot see the data that is coming in. And of course, the military is around. The Tier 1 level military and the scientists that work with the military get to see the data. But that'll never get to you and me. So right now, I'm the only source reporting actual live data from Comet Ison. So what a strange situation. This event is astronomically, in terms of astronomical history, is an event that is, like I say, extremely important because we have not witnessed a comet come this close to a planet in that long, certainly in modern history. So to see Mars interact with the comet, first the comet starting to interact, turns green, develops the sunward spike, then connects with Mars. Now, I want to tell you what the data that NASA is hiding and the military, what it is showing. It is showing auroras on Mars. It's showing the interaction of the electrical discharges between the comet and Mars. It's showing all of a sudden the comet brightening tremendously, which it is right now. it has grown tremendously over the last day. And then Mars developing a comet coma, literally about the size of a quarter the size of the full moon in the sky, and it's very visible. So this is an astronomical event of historical proportions, and NASA is shut down.
Now, Jim, NASA's automated systems are recording and storing all this information. Do you have any opinion one way or the other if NASA will release the stored information on what's going on once the government gets open again for business?
No, absolutely not. What will happen to these scientists, in fact, what's going to happen to the federal government is going to be very interesting if they ever come back. But let's take a look at Comet Temple 1, July 4th, I think it was 2005. And I was on, for example, that night, I was on the Coast to Coast AM radio show, and we were waiting for NASA to release the data when the Deep Impact probe crashed into the nucleus. And this was supposed to be a monumental event for NASA, proving that there's water somewhere deep in the core of the comet nucleus, because they couldn't find it up till then. It wasn't on the surface. They had visited 4 or 5 comets before then, never saw a drop or ounce of water, only found hot, dry, tar-covered rocks. And so they said, well, the water's got to be deeper. Well, that data was supposed to be released and was supposed to be a major fanfare for the whole world to see this, and the data did not come out for 6 months. Very sheepishly, they released the data, and then all kinds of fudging happened with the data, trying to pretend that it proved the dirty snowball comet model. But NASA is, and you look at this tomfoolery, and you wonder, well, what's going on? These guys, nobody would believe anything they're doing anymore. But they keep pounding this, even up until today. Oh, the snowy little wanderer, the icy little voyager from beyond, and these terms, and then you find that these are all being pushed out by a central guy named Tony Phillips, who's the chief fairy tale creator for NASA. He's the guy that all of the scientists have to filter through before their information can be released to the public in terms of space science. So anyway, that's what's going to happen. It's totally whitewashed, and the public will never see it. So literally, you can write NASA off, all the NASA scientists at this point. They were worthless before. Now they are more than worthless.